welcome to another episode of Hugs Through Shrugs. I'm Kathy.
I'm Mary, and we are sharing a very exciting journey with you today.
We're in Rhinebeck.
Kath, you had mentioned in our last official episode, which was like last February, I guess, when we were in Newport in that condo, that sometimes we have to go away in order to get together, even though we live only 30 minutes apart, and it's a very easy 30-minute drive.
Yes,
for some
because
reason,
have we gotten together since Newport?
only to go back and forth to Newport twice since
So
our
we
last
have
podcast.
to go away to get together.
And actually, this trip to Rhinebeck was kind of on the schedule, but not, because we've had a lot going on.
Right.
And it was just a few days ago that I said, okay, Kath, I know you can't go on Saturday, which we usually, when we do Rhinebeck, which we've done for several years now, we tend to go like Friday morning and take advantage of the pre-Rhinebeck activities that are going on. And then we're here all day Saturday and then a chunk on Sunday. We couldn't do that this year, but we really just wanted to take it all in just for a few hours, and it was a great opportunity to squeeze in the podcast.
Right. So sometimes last minute plans are the best plans. So here we are. We actually made it. So it's beautiful. It's about 55 degrees. It's supposed to go up to 62. That's like perfect Rhinebeck weather. We've been here in shorts.
Last year, as I said, we got here on Friday, and Kath had a bit of a rough night. We ate at a diner and we're like all geared up to be here.
Yes.
And then she wasn't feeling well. It was a bug that was going around her school, which we did talk about.
Yeah,
I think
we
in
covered
our
that.
December episode last year.
Yep. But we got a great Sunday in at Rhinebeck last year.
Well, we did make it on Saturday
we
too,
did.
but it was so
It was like a 24-hour.
hot.
Oh my gosh, it was hot.
T-shirts and angry bees buzzing around.
Yeah.
But it's funny, die-hard knitters, even in 75 hot, sunny, sweaty degrees, still had on their beautiful sweaters,
which I did not.
A lot of ladies work to make those Rhinebeck sweaters and are
I
dying.
wore shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, we were very hot
Yes,
last year.
no, I don't care. I was not going to sweat it out.
So this is perfect weather. Very much out of our comfort zone. There are people around us.
Everywhere.
But if you couldn't make it this year, which a lot of people we know could not make it this year, we wanted you to get a little...
Yeah, get a chance to see it. Some people have come, some have never been here. This is what it's like. It's a lot of fun. Well, especially for us, because this is like us spending time together. So Rhinebeck is more than just the sheep and wool for us.
So, and we did bring projects that we're going to start tonight when we go back to a little rental that we got, which was unusual for us. Usually we come and get a hotel, and it's a 2-night minimum, and it's tighter quarters when you're in a hotel. But we got a nice little 2-bedroom apartment that we're going to stay in after the festival, which is something we could do now because Kath is retired. You were not retired last year.
That's right, yeah.
So,
Yep, was sick all weekend and I had to go to work on Monday. So that was a good one.
So we'll try to take little clips too during the day so we can share some other pictures. But last that we talked, when we were in the Newport condo, we had mentioned new fundraisers that we were doing. And that was the Gilded Age shawls that we introduced everybody to. And now this is October. In case you don't know, it's October 2022. So that last podcast was February 2022. And in those few months, our Gilded Age shawls have really been quite a help to our fundraising.
Yes, yeah.
When we podcasted, we did not know where we would sell them from. But we are in Rough Point Museum Shop, which has been awesome.
Yes.
And Friendly Harbor, which is a boutique on Thames Street in Newport, and that's been awesome too. Really meaningful relationships that we're forming with different people. So much so that Rough Point included us in a July event. At the end of July, we were asked to come and set up a table and talk about our charity and explain the shawls and how we use the money.
Yeah, I guess that was the roam around Rough Point, and we were invited to that, and it was beautiful. I mean, just to sit there on the front lawn of Rough Point and look out over the ocean, I mean, that was fantastic.
So keep in mind, end of July, it was so hot.
That was the one drawback.
We did hope to do some recording, but we were busy talking to people.
And sweating.
So sweating took up a lot of our time that day.
in between like crowds of people coming in, we kept trying to get in the shade. Just a minute.
Sitting on the ground, on the grass, under a tree.
Yes.
But that was a lot of fun and
It was.
helpful. And then at the end of August, we were back up in Newport again because Vogue Knitting had a cruise.
Yes.
And the first port was Newport.
Right.
So Michelle Brennan of Knitting Needles, they had called her and she agreed to open on Monday. So Kath and I went, we set up a whole new display at Michelle's shop. She's so awesome to share her space with us. And we have a really nice display set up there now. And even though we were there on Tuesday, Vogue was the following Monday, and Michelle was going to try to handle it on her own, and we felt bad about that.
Right.
So we decided to
stay an extra 5 days, twist my arm.
And that was great because we got to do stuff that we don't
did.
usually do.
Right.
We took the ferry over to Block Island.
Oh, had never been there. Loved it.
And of course, how to find anything fiber related.
Oh,
so we
we
walked over to
did.
Northlight Fibers
Yep.
and talked to a lovely woman who was running their shop. And, coincidentally, 10 years ago or so, her daughter, she lost her daughter.
She did.
To cancer. And we just shared our mission with her. And it's really sad and surprising to us how many people we do meet.
Right. Whose lives are touched by pediatric cancer for their children. It's a lot. So there's quite a need for our shrugs, and we could just keep making, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so that was something for us.
But she was lovely, and she really loved what we were doing. She said that if it would have meant a lot to her to
If
have
she
gotten one of our
received
shrugs.
the care packages that we give, you just feel so isolated at that time when you're going through the unthinkable, and it seems like the whole rest of the world is just
moving on
in a different place, and you're just stuck in this battle praying for a positive outcome because there's no guarantees. So many children do wind up passing away. So it was humbling to hear that our work is appreciated.
Right, she was
by
lovely.
people.
So Block Island was lovely.
That was awesome, and then we also had time to go to a different yarn shop.
We did,
which was a good, I say about 50 minutes away from Michelle.
Yeah, it's far from me. It's not somewhere like a cruise ship would be able to get people to at a port of call. Like there was no time for that. But since we weren't on the cruise, we did get to go. And it was called Skane.
Skane Yarn Shop, which when I first started this charity, I had gone to a yarn shop called Love to Knit. Now Skane, these are lovely new owners who have taken over for the ladies who actually helped us a bunch of years ago. Love to Knit had gathered, and this is in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, by the way. They gathered up like 33 or 34 shrugs for the Ronald McDonald House in Providence with us. And we had shipped the care packages up to the yarn shop, and one of their customers is a nurse at Hasbro Children's Hospital, and she actually brought everything to the Ronald McDonald House for us. So they really turned that into a community event, which was nice. And now the new girls who own the shop, they've transformed it. They put their own spin on it. They really opened up the shop, and they have like beautiful lighting and huge tables.
Yeah.
When the day we went in there, they were having a class. There must have been 12 people sitting around this gigantic table.
Right.
And then local knitters in the back corner knitting.
So it was full of knitters. Awesome.
And everybody talking to us. And I wish that we lived 5 minutes away so we could always be part of the wonderful community. And the girls helped us pick yarn because we're actually going to make sweaters for ourselves.
Yes, we got the same pattern, different yarn, and that's going to be like our together thing for the year, the thing that ties us together.
Yeah, and we're going to start that today. So tying little memories to the work we do, because we do get very sidetracked with the amount of work we have to do. We did share in past episodes that a year ago about this, well, it was actually November, through our fundraising efforts, like our Gilded Age yarns and shawls and the other yarns that we dye, we were able to purchase 2 knitting machines. And it's been a journey, a lot of changes, and just the way the pandemic froze our distribution and limited how we get out and find volunteers.
Right.
We didn't know how long we'd be in that dilemma, but we still have a demand. There are lots and lots of families being told today that their children have cancer.
Right.
And, you know, if we can't get out and find volunteers, we'll pick up the slack. And
Right.
we had to learn these knitting machines, and we had to order new yarn that would work on these machines. And Kath mastered, it took about a month to master a formula, and you can crank out. If you really applied yourself, you've done as many as 6 in a day.
Oh, I have.
And that
I've
is
done
hard.
6 in a day. That's tough, but when I have to, you make 6 in a day.
And we are still manually putting the yarn on, and then it's a manual row by row.
You have to cast on regularly, like you have to bind off manually, and then we also crochet the laces, and you know, I mean, it probably takes, I would say, a good, at least an hour. I would say about an hour to do one from beginning to end.
And that's if you're rushing and really focusing.
Right,
But I mean, it
because-
could be like an hour and a half if you take
Yeah.
a second to like have a sip of water.
Right, which we don't usually do. So.
But that's been huge for us. And that kind of changed how we distribute. So now when we have retreats, let's say, like Hayden's House of Healing, which is in New Jersey, and that's a retreat house for moms whose children have passed away. But they all show up on the same day, so waiting on their beds, everybody has the same shrug hug waiting for them. Hospitals, they get, depending on which hospitals we're working with, typically they'll have the variety or creative shrugs where makers send shrugs they've made with yarns they've put together from
Right.
Michael's or whatever. And then moms have the choice to pick. Like Ronald McDonald's houses will put out a basket, and then they can pick the color they like.
Right.
Part of our fundraising stocks our charity yarn wall.
Right.
So we have about 14 ladies who come to my house, and they already put so much time into helping. We don't want them to have to buy
Right.
more
At
yarn.
first they were buying all the yarn themselves, but we have, like, I don't know, what would you say? I think at this point we've probably done about, would you say 3,500 shrugs?
Yeah.
You can't expect these ladies to buy yarn for 3,500 shrugs.
Yeah.
So that's where the fundraising comes in.
Yarns that we buy, and the knitting machines, and the toiletry items.
Yeah.
And so we also changed our ask. If you want to participate in our charity, you like what we do, we are looking basically for shrug snugs, which are the crocheted spirals, or little capes for the bears that the children get. As part of the care packages, we do have little bear buddies so that the moms have something to give their child, because what would brighten a mom's day more than having something for her child?
To make them smile.
And the bears we were using, we can't find. Here's the supply chain
Right.
issue. We couldn't find those bears anymore, and that was a little upsetting because I really liked those bears. But after about 3 days of searching, we were able to find bears that we love even more.
Right. So when God closes a door, He opens a window.
You just have to persevere and keep going. And the journey has not always been easy for us.
Right.
We're learning a lot. You know, emails don't always get answered, but if you keep the faith.
persevering. Yeah.
Persevere, that's our big word for sure. Opportunities open up, and one of those is connecting with the Izzy Foundation at Hasbro Children's Hospital, where this is a charity started by a mom and a dad who lost their daughter Izzy about 12 years ago now, or 10 years ago now. I believe the parents are both doctors. They went to Germany even to try to find help for their daughter, and eventually they did lose that battle. But the journey impacted their lives so much that they were able to open a room on the pediatric cancer floor at Hasbro Children's, and all the parents who are being admitted to that floor receive a code to the Izzy room, and it's a respite room where they can just relax for a while. Volunteers serve lunch, so the parents don't have to go far to eat. They don't have to go far away from their children, and it's just a place for them to catch their breath. And every parent now, and this is news too, since May, I guess we'd started with the Izzy Foundation, every parent who receives the code to the Izzy room is presented that code with our care packages. And those care packages have the bear and toiletry items, because these parents are sleeping in the hospital.
Right.
Whereas the Ronald McDonald houses don't need the toiletry items. We do have a couple that we still ship them to. But Hayden's house doesn't need
Right.
the toiletry items, nor do the momcology moms. One of the things that almost prevented us from coming this weekend was packing the shrugs for the upcoming virtual retreat that Momcology's having. And one of the things we also put in our care packages for every mom is our face mask keepers, which we crochet chains and add little clips to hold their face masks on. If they leave their children's room or they take them off for a minute, they just hang like eyeglass chains.
Yes.
And they're always going to need face masks.
Yeah.
So we do include those. That might be the llama parade.
Oh, yes, it probably is.
Yeah. And music and background noise, we're just
So
sharing.
you'll probably see the llamas go right that way.
We'll see what happens. Pardon the noise. I think they're coming. So,
There they are.
it's so adorable. So the Izzy Foundation, that's been gigantic. And we send them many a month, including 1 or 2 blankets each month for the dads who might be the caregivers staying in the hospital. So we designed certain care packages just for the dads. Are they coming this week? Huh?
Yeah, they're so cute.
I would get up and turn the camera, but we're balancing our tripod
Pretty sure
on a
you're going to
bench.
get it in the background.
Okay. So we'll see if they make it over here. So the Izzy Foundation, that's a gigantic new collaboration
Yes.
that has been super meaningful and rewarding because
Yes.
they truly appreciate what we're doing. We're in constant communication with them.
Right. Oh, and also we mentioned about helping us with the bear capes and the shrug snugs. Both of those patterns are online on our website.
And again, I know this is going out of order, but a shrug is basically a blanket that we fold the corners in and lace the sleeves closed, so the mom receiving could, excuse me, wear it like a cardigan with their shrug snug, or take the laces out and use it as a blanket.
Right.
And the dads, it's just a blanket.
Right.
And you don't have to make shrugs for us. You might want to make a shrug as a gift for somebody. They are really a versatile gift. Blanket or shrug, and you can make it as big as you want, and it becomes a great topper over like leggings or something cozy to wrap up in by a fire pit.
Right, so, and the patterns for that, there's crochet and there's knitting patterns and Tunisian patterns on the website.
Yeah, and tutorials. If you want to
Yes.
learn Tunisian, we do have a Learn to Tunisian Crochet tutorial that is on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
So you can look up that episode. But you want to make it like 30 by 55 inches.
Yep.
If you were to ship to us, and that's a pretty good universal size for anybody, or shorter or longer depending on who you're making it for if you're gift giving.
Right.
So this time of year is a good time to start making for holiday gifts, and it's just an idea for you to make for someone you want to send a hug through a
Hug
shrug
to your own hugs through shrugs.
So that's we'd be happy just to share our ideas with you.
Right, and share the Tunisian, which is something that we kind of picked up as a result of the charity, so that we could kind of get more shrugs made. So it was really a lot of fun, and Mare taught me in a couple of, like an hour.
And Tunisian
really
crochet, we do most of our shrugs in that.
Yes.
Gigantic hooks, like STU hooks, and it's so fast and easy, and really
Yeah.
mindless. It's hard to make a mistake.
Right, because if you do, you're only ripping out one stitch or one row. It's not like knitting where if you drop a stitch, it's going all the way down if you miss it. So crochet also is where if you could just take one stitch out, but Tunisian's the same, but it's a very unique stitch. I was going to wear my poncho here, but it's a little bit warmer than that, and I could have showed you the stitch, but oh well. We'll insert
You know what?
something.
We can insert a picture. Is that the one you brought?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll insert a couple videos. And the other thing, the Vogue Knitting cruise that came into Newport, these were the nicest
It was
ladies.
so nice. We had so much fun.
And what a fun opportunity they had. 45 makers
Yeah.
on a cruise that started in Newport and went up into Canada and then turned around. There were classes,
Yeah.
Nora Gaughan and a few other big names that I just can't think of at the top of my head. But all these ladies came and they all bought.
Oh, they
And
did.
we, in 4 hours, I think we sold close to $2,000 of our Gilded Age yarns, and boy did that really helps. And
It
then a
does.
week later, 2 weeks later, we were at New Jersey Sheep and Wool, and it's always a great event.
Yeah.
And we had people, the Kinnelon Library knitters.
Yes, yeah. Which we
Kinnelon,
want to
New
go,
Jersey.
they have a knitting group that meets, and we want to surprise them and give them a thank you, and we're going to show up with some yarn for them, because they donated quite a few.
Bags of shrugs for us, and they were all absolutely perfectly
Perfect.
done. And many of those makers bought our Tunisian crochet kits and learned Tunisian crochet, and they nailed it. They
did.
This is like, we are stocked with beautiful shrugs.
At the moment.
They were awesome. And then we had Shannon from the podcast Whiskey and Wool.
Yep.
And she popped in, and we talked to her for a while, and she could not make it to Rhinebeck, so that was her first time going to New Jersey Sheep and Wool, because she wanted her fix of a fiber festival. And she commented in her podcast how quiet it seemed.
It did. Like the 2 years ago when we went, this is like right after when COVID first started, things started to open up. When we went to New Jersey Sheep and Wool, I remember saying to Mary, "What is that noise?" And she said, "That's the people,
The crowd.
waiting to get in."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my God!" And this year it was silent.
Yeah, until
But
about 11:15.
It picked up.
It was great for us because we're always nervous, and we got set up, and we actually had time to like take a breath before we started
Sweating.
and in talking with people. Yeah, and it was great. We had a great day. We had
It was
good sales.
great.
We
The
were
people are so nice.
very happy, very
supportive.
and satisfied with our sales. Sunday, torrential rain,
Yes.
and we were in a new spot, and it was a spot that we could tell.
it would have had a big puddle in the middle.
Yeah, we were concerned when we were setting up because it was ground that you can tell.
Oh, there was a big mud puddle where no grass was, because it clearly fills up with rain every time it rains. So we weren't able to do Sunday, but we're definitely going to go back next
And
year.
in the same spot.
The same spot.
We'll be in the same spot.
And next year it's going to be exciting because we're going to make a focus of our tent teaching people Tunisian.
Oh yeah, we are going to have it be more like an information station with a table, Tunisian crochet demonstrations, maybe put out like some cookies and water, and anybody can come and sit with us for a while.
Spread the word about the charity, and of course, there will be yarn for sale still if people want to buy yarn. But I'm hoping to spend a lot more time getting to talk to people a little bit more and have them sit
maybe
and join us for a little bit.
So Rhinebeck also, Saturday is the day where it's insane, and that's where everybody's here, and Podcast Hill is loaded with people, and
Sunday's the better
Sunday's
day.
always quiet. So this year we only have Sunday to compare it to, and it's still early. It is only 11 o'clock. So you could kind of see in the background.
I mean, there's still people here, and it is. But in the tents and stuff today, like on Sunday, usually it's not. I've been through a tent where I never even got close to the booths. I got shoved down the center on a Saturday, and that's not really fun.
Yeah.
Sunday is way the better day.
It's sometimes on Saturdays you have your people who are like on a mission and don't get in their way.
At the same time, we have met some really lovely people on a Saturday where, you wind up sitting and talking to them for like a half an hour. As a matter of fact, in this very park,
yeah, you got to be a little out of the fray.
Yeah,
so
to have time to talk. But I have to say, I think Sunday is the better day at Rhinebeck.
It's a lot more low-key.
Because we've always done Sunday, because we've always come for the weekend. But if I had a choice, like, because they always make you come for the 2 days, but now that I'm not working...
The hotel's 2-night minimum.
Yes, the hotels do that. But now that I'm not working, we could stay Sunday night, and even if I had to make the round trip, this would be the day from now on.
Yeah,
it's so much more low-key, and it's just beautiful.
We got here at like 10 o'clock, no line.
No line. We just
perfect parking space right by the path, so we can put all this stuff away and go through the barns and not be carrying anything.
Right. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
And look at
it's so
that.
Beautiful.
It's like, and it's not like a mass of people. It makes it more stressful.
Especially
and there's that
with COVID, I mean, there's still a bit of a concern, and there's plenty of room for distancing here.
So we can't compare to yesterday, but I'm sure it was busier than this.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it might be quieter than in past years because, like you said, of COVID.
But we just wanted to show people, because some people might be watching us from across the country, and they've never been to Rhinebeck. Well, this is what it's like. It's very nice.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So so we covered, I think, all of our updates, right? What are we missing?
Let's see.
We made notes in the car. because we didn't want to leave anything.
Yes, because we're famous for getting off topic.
And especially, and you can see the sun is moving. It's like starting to roast me.
Yes.
But,
yeah, no, we covered
I
everything.
think we covered everything. So we'll try to take a few more pictures. And
Yep. Oh, but we are going to be doing some additional tutorials. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and I hope you enjoy our Rhinebeck with
and
us.
I don't know. I don't want to commit to when we might podcast again. But we always promised. This is our version of a newsletter because typing and sending newsletters, we know they don't always our inboxes get so full, and this is more like a little video scrapbook for us of our journey. And we'll touch base again when there's something really exciting to share. So thank you for watching and for subscribing
and for your support.
And if you need any help with our patterns or ideas for shrugs or yarns, just reach out to us at info@hugsthroughshrugs.org, and one of us will get back to you. And we're always willing to share whatever tips and hints we can about knitting, whether it's bear capes, shrug snugs, or a shrug itself.
Right. All right. Well, take care, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.